What is up, crew? Welcome to Seek the Edge podcast with me, Kelsey Lensman, where our mission is to challenge you outside of your comfort zone so you can tap into the God-given potential inside. And I tell all of our crew, the athletes, clients that we have, that your growth is one step out of your comfort zone. And it's fitting for today's episode because in Ohio a couple weeks ago, we had snowmageddon. We had so much snow that came down over a weekend, and we were snowed in for a couple of days. So instead of me getting frustrated and, oh, my routine's all different, oh, I can't do the things that I normally do, I said, okay, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for me to do something different. So every morning, what my normal morning routine is, I'll wake up, I'll do a little Bible study with the girl that lives with me currently, and then I'll go work out. And most days I go to the gym to train, and some days I'll go and do different types of things at the gym. But obviously, because of the snow, I was not going anywhere. I was in my house. Thankfully, I had a walking treadmill that I bought a couple weeks prior. But I was like, okay, what am I going to do? And I thought I could do the strength workout that I was going to do, just do it at home. And as I sat there, I thought, you know what? There's so many people that are talking about Pilates now. So many people that are talking about Legree and all these different variations. Let me actually try it. Let me do something outside of my comfort zone and let me see what all this talk is about. And if I'm being incredibly honest with you, I don't make fun of things. I never made fun of Pilates. But if I'm being honest with myself, I'm like, okay, how hard is this going to be? Like, it'll be challenging, but okay, what are these people talking about? And so I went on YouTube, I searched Pilates, and a 30-minute video pulled up. I'm like, perfect. Good timing. I'll be able to walk after, get some steps in. This is amazing. So I clicked that video, and it's this girl that's in this beautiful ocean backdrop. And I'm like, man, I wish I was her right now. And I got on my floor. Captain was right next to me, my dog, and I had to make sure he wasn't messing with me during Pilates. And I started the video. And we started doing, obviously, some cat-cows, some nicer stuff. And then it got real. We got into it. And what she was doing with her leg back and the hip circles, my glutes were burning. And then the core with the ab V-ups and all these different things as I was doing my legs, I was like, this is pretty legit. This is pretty intense right here. And I was sweating. My core was burning. And as I got through that, I'm like, okay, I can understand the buzz for this right now. So then the next day, it was snowmageddon again. And I said, all right, let's try another one. So I tried another one. And then finally that third day was our last day that we were snowed in. And I played a last and final Pilates one. And so it gave me a little dose of understanding, okay, what is this Pilates about? How is it formed? What are they doing within this? And obviously, just like strength training, there's a bunch of different types, and different instructors and teachers have different variations. But it allowed me to understand, okay, what is this about? And for those that know my background, they know that I am very big about women in strength training, not just from a body composition standpoint, not just from a how heavy can you lift in the gym standpoint, but from what strength training physiologically does for women, what it hormonally does for women, and why they need it, especially as we age. And so as I sat back, and I woke up sore the next day, and I sat back and I thought, okay, how do I think through Pilates versus strength training? How do I think through what different people do, and how do we pull this together? And so what I'm going to talk through in this episode is my thoughts and true understandings of how do we, yes, still incorporate Pilates and the different yogas and stuff, but in my opinion, also what we need as a foundational level for women in strength training, and how all of this can work together. In the fitness industry, it's so boxed up. You're either a power lifter, or you're a bodybuilder, or you do yoga, or you do Pilates. And I'll usually don't use this word, but I will use it here. I have hated how people just put people in boxes. I never wanted to be called a bodybuilder. I never wanted to be called an Olympic lifter. I never wanted to be called a power lifter because I'm like, I'm not just that. I am not just a bodybuilder or power lifter. And I think of the same way in the fitness industry is people just polarize. Oh, if you do Pilates, you never do strength. If you do strength, oh, you should never lift heavy in the gym. And what I've come to realize with doing so many different things for me personally and then also researching this is all of them can play together, but there's a strategy behind training smart and understanding what your body needs. And that's what we're going to talk about today is why do women need to strength train? Why do we also need to do some type of yoga and Pilates and mobility? And what's actually the best combination of it all? And people will tiptoe around this topic to not ruffle any feathers. And I'm going to be incredibly honest with my subjective, but also honest with the objective research behind it. So then you can be best equipped for you to reach the goals that you want, whether that be, hey, I want to feel the best that I can in my body and summer's coming, like let's feel the way that we want to feel, whether that be, hey, I want to focus on longevity. I had a conversation with a woman this week that she said, Kels, my goal is to have my 90th birthday party and walk into it and feel the best, not that she's ever felt, but feel pretty good and allow her body to not be her limiter. And so regardless of your goal, all of this will help impact you so you can know what to do and you can understand and not get sucked into all the marketing ploys. And you will see this on social media, all of the marketing ploys of, oh, you should only do this to achieve this result. Or, hey, this is the best thing to do to build your glutes up. And I am not an either or girl, I'm an and. How does this actually work together for you? The first part that I'm going to dig into is why women need strength training. And I'm excited about this because over the past 10 years, it is more of a buzz. I just created a post on social media for our Expand Your Limits account and then my personal account. And it was National or International Women in Sports and Girls in Sports Day. And the research behind some of this, actually, I will pull it up because this is mind-boggling. Some of these stats. So before the 1970s, fewer than 2% of girls played high school sports, and that's not that long ago. Until 1984, this is in our backyard timeline-wise. Until 1984, women weren't allowed to run a marathon in the Olympics. Women were encouraged to exercise quietly, stay thin, and avoid visible muscle. In the early to mid 1900s, women were told their bodies couldn't handle strength or endurance. And it is mind-boggling to me that it has not been that long since the paradigm has been shifted. And the research is now supporting, hey, women, you don't need to stay small. You don't need to stay in your little corner. You don't need to only do your little arm circles. And, ooh, what if, God forbid, you build muscle? Oh, you're going to get too big. The paradigm is shifting because it needs to shift. And it can't just be stay as small and as quiet and as in the corner as you can. We need to shift the paradigms. And over the past 10 years, it has. Now it's becoming cool to lift weights. Now you'll see a lot of the high intensity workouts that women would follow. Now they're introducing strength training. And as a female personally, but also as a coach and a woman that really found out how strong her body is and how to actually get results, I'm so excited about this. And as amazing as I'll talk about how Pilates is, it's great for mobility. It is great for some of the small stabilizers. It is great for many things. What I think women need specifically, especially as we age, is we need one foundational principle that is in strength training, and that is progressive overload. Meaning, are we increasing our weight as we get stronger and as we build muscles? Are we able to actually progressively overload instead of just do random exercises and not have a structure to what's going to get you results? And reason number one why women need strength training is, first of all, it protects muscle as we age. After age 30, which is my current age, women naturally begin losing muscle mass over time if you don't train it. Research shows that adults can lose 3 to 8% of muscle per decade, and that rate increases as we age. And so especially as for women, muscle is not just for aesthetics. It is not just for you looking toned. Yes, it can look great, but it is also for your metabolism, which I'll talk about. It's for your strength. It's for your longevity. It's for your bone health. And if we are not protecting muscle and we are not building muscle, we are actually allowing it to atrophy. And not only is it going to have an impact on your aesthetics, it's going to have an impact on your health and your wellness and your longevity long term. And when we think about building muscle, muscle is not built by doing 100 little glute bridges or X amount of hip circles or arm flies, okay? It is built by overloading the muscle, meaning testing it and doing more weight and actually allowing that muscle to be built. One of the biggest misconceptions that I have to talk many women out of their current mindset is it is not high rep, low weight building muscle. That is not how you get toned. And I thought this same thing. I literally told my strength coach in high school when I was transitioning from sports and wanting to learn how to work out on my own. I told him, "Oh, I don't know if I can do that. I want to get toned, so I think I need to stick with 15 pounds and do 20 reps with it." And I just didn't know any better. I just did not know any better. And so that is where progressive overload comes in is, are you doing structured exercises over 4 to 6 to 8 weeks at a time? We're not changing all the workouts with, and we're actually increasing our weight. Maybe this week we do 20s. Maybe it stays 20s for the next 2 to 3 weeks, but then the following week we do 25s. That is actually showing your muscle being built and your strength being built through that. So number one, women need it because strength training protects muscle as we age. Number one. Number two is strength training builds bone density. Strength training builds bone density. Women are at a much higher risk of osteoporosis later in life. This statistic is insane, but in fact, roughly 1 in 2 women over the age of 50 will experience an osteoporosis-related fracture or injury. That is mind-boggling I've been saying mind-boggling a lot. That must be my word of choice. But that is wild when you think about it, because this is something that we can be proactive instead of reactive in doing. In heavy resistance training, emphasis on the heavy, I'll preface this with, we want to train smart. You want the right mind-muscle connection. You want the right technique. But heavy resistance training is one of the best tools that you can use for your body to build and maintain quality bone density. Maintain more than anything, quality bone density. Pilates, yes, will help the posture. Strength training will actually help your skeleton stay strong. And you'll see at the end of this, I talk a little bit about jump training. No matter if you are 80 years old or if you are 20 years old, we need some type of jump landing, jump training. You don't need to do 24-inch box jumps, but we need some impact training for your body to be strong and your bones to be strong long term. And so strength training, progressive overload, structured strength training will build your bone density over time and maintain it. Number 3 here is strength training. And when I say strength training, that is our squat, our RDL, our deadlift, our bench press. These are the motions where we have dumbbells or we have barbells, and we're focusing on pushing and overcoming that weight over time, increasing the weight over time. And number 3, strength training improves metabolic and hormonal health. I cannot say enough how your strength training will improve what's happening on the inside of your body. If you want to nerd out about this, Google, look up, buy her book, Dr. Gabrielle Lyon. She talks so much about how skeletal muscle is incredibly important, and it's not just for aesthetics, and it's not just for you hitting a PR in the gym. She talks in depth about what it is doing physiologically and hormonally in your body to benefit it. And so resistance training will improve your insulin sensitivity. Actually, I'm wearing a continued glucose monitor right now. You can't see it if you're on video, but it's tracking my glucose throughout the day. And thankfully, I am not wearing it for any bad reason or I need to. I'm wearing it because I want to see some data. And I've seen as I've resistance trained, it has actually helped my insulin sensitivity. It supports your blood sugar regulation, and it helps women build healthier metabolic foundation and just function in general. And so as you build that muscle, it will impact your metabolism for better. It will impact your metabolism for better. You don't need to eat ice chips and your little lettuce. No, as you gain muscle, you're going to be hungrier. Your body is going to operate at a higher capacity. It's going to operate a lot more efficiently and effectively. And so with that, go eat some food. Like you need some food in your body. And so this matters for energy. It matters for your cravings, your blood sugar regulation. It matters for your body composition, and it matters for your hormonal health. And so strength training is not just about lifting. It's about building that resilient body. And last but not least, personally, one of my favorites that I really do think it is revolutionary for girls and women when they realize this, but strength training builds such incredible confidence in somebody. And why is that? Is because when you see yourself over time, oh, I used to use 20s. Oh, I'm using 25s now. Oh, I'm actually able to do 30s well. Yes, is it making your actual body more adaptable and resilient? 1000%. Does it make it more durable? For sure. But what isn't just seen by the number that you see and you mark in your little training journal, what is not seen by just what you see in the mirror by the muscle that you're building, is what you see is the confidence that's built internally when you do something you never thought you could do. Or secondly, when you show yourself, oh, I remember starting at this and I did 10 pounds. And oh my gosh, I just did 30 pounds on the same exercise. It builds this confidence that is unshakable, and it builds the belief that you can do hard things. It builds the belief that you're able and your physical body is able to do those things. And especially for women and girls in our culture today, it is so ingrained in our system as smaller is better, especially now. I've seen this over the last year. Smaller is better. Oh, yeah, you shouldn't get too much. Oh, you're looking a little too big there. And so we're constantly seeing what our body is not versus seeing how strong and how capable and how amazing our body actually is. And by you showing yourself physically, wow, I never thought I could do 30s. And my body just did 30s. It builds this relationship between you and your body. It is a two-way relationship. It's not just you're the dictator. Your body needs to trust you as well. And so as you do that thing and as you strength train and you focus on that, you build this relationship with your body that I can do hard things. It can do hard things. It is pretty epic for me. And that becomes so transformative with your relationship with your body. And so it builds capacity in your body. You realize carrying groceries, I'm a carry groceries in one arm type of girl. I ain't going 2 trips. I'm going one arm and I'm going to show off while I'm doing it. It allows you to move furniture better. It allows you to hike. We got a big crew going to Yellowstone this year. Their body is going to enable them, and we focus on strength training to prep them up for that. And it just builds confidence under load. It builds confidence under load. So as we bring it back, strength training protects muscle as you age. It builds bone density. It improves your metabolic and hormonal health. And last but not least, it will build unshakable confidence in yourself. And as I shared this is not me throwing shade to Pilates at all. I have so much respect. You should see me shaking in these Pilates workouts. Like, it is humbling. It is so humbling. So when I share what I'm going to share next, it is not me saying, oh, just because I like strength training, I think this is better. This is me getting outside of just what I selfishly and not selfishly, but what I enjoy. And this is me getting objective about what your body needs to really thrive. And like I said, it's not just strength training either. Strength training people need Pilates and yoga. Yoga and Pilates people need strength training. It's an and game. And so here's the proof of why women cannot just do Pilates and pretend like that's going to get them not just to the physical results that they want, but the actual internal health that they want. Is Pilates trains amazing core control. It trains amazing stability and posture and mobility and endurance in smaller muscles. When I was doing these little hip exercises and the girl on the screen was doing it like she wasn't even breaking a sweat versus I was shaking, it humbled me in a good way, and it is incredible. However, what it doesn't fully provide, which is such an important aspect of it, is progressive overload. Is you cannot consistently load the body heavier. I know they have reformer Pilates, and I know that you can add more strings on, and I'm very aware of this. But you can't consistently load the body heavier over time the way that you can doing squats, doing deadlifts, doing presses, doing rows, doing carries. We all need an overhead press, a vertical press. We all need a horizontal press. That's a dumbbell bench. We all need a vertical pull. That's a lat pull down. We all need a horizontal pull. That's a row. We need a squat. We need to squat, hinge, and we need to carry. Okay. All of those are the main patterns that our body needs. And if we are negating them and we're not able to load them progressively over time, we are hindering our body and not actually training it in the best way that will enable you long-term to be able to do it. And so Pilates, yes, will enable you to feel strong. I felt amazing after. I felt great after. And it is something I'm going to continue in my routine, which I'll share at the end. But strength training will actually make you be strong. And they're not competitors to one another, but they're complements to one another. And when we can start viewing it as that, my philosophy is we need strength training as the foundation. That there is no substitute for that. There's so much research to argue that anything else should be the replacement of strength training. However, as that's the foundation, these accessories, the Legree, the Pilates, all of these other things can be incredibly helpful to add to what your foundation is and not take it away. So let me transition to why it is a good accessory, why Pilates is a perfect accessory, especially if you are progressing in strength training. Is Pilates, Legree, yoga, they are powerful and they train what many lifters ignore, especially if you have somebody or you have a program that isn't well-versed in more sports medicine stuff. A lot of what Pilates and Legree and yoga can do is actually work on the things that are missing in a foundational strength training program. And so that it looks like deep stabilizers, okay? Whether that be deep core, whether that be your glute, pelvic control, joint integrity, meaning that control and slow motion over time, your breath and your movement connection. I love this. Oh, I loved it from Pilates is I was moving on my breath. I do the same thing in training, in my strength training, but many people don't know how to do that. And so we're connecting our mind to our body. And personally, what I like the most is it focuses on mobility and recovery. That is why I'm using it. I felt great in my deep core. I felt great in some of the stabilizers that I don't hit in the gym that often, in the endurance of those muscles. Like I was doing 20 reps, and I don't normally do 20 reps in the gym, but it also helped me in my mobility and recovery. And so most strength athletes, as myself included, we are strong, but if we don't prioritize it enough, we are also incredibly tight. And so Pilates humbles you, yoga humbles you because it will expose your gaps. And by filling those gaps in, it is going to make your foundation, your lifting, your strength training even that much better. And so before I go into, okay, what's a good structure, Kels? Great, you talked to me about both. I understand that. I understand I got to have strength training foundation. I can add in these different classes or exercises and videos that I want to do. Before I go into, in my opinion, what's a beautiful schedule for somebody, is I do want to add a quick little bonus section on jump training and impact training. And this is something that, especially as I've worked with many women, all ages, but really recently have made this a non-negotiable in women, especially as we're 30 on, is jump training. And this doesn't, like I said, mean just do box jumps and try to get as high of a box jump as you can. But one of the best things women can do for long-term health, other than even just lifting or other than even just Pilates, is impact-based movement. Your bones need that signal and a reason to stay strong. And jumping is one of the most powerful ways to actually form that. And this is why it's important, okay? Bone density is not just maintained by staying active and being active. It is maintained and improved by impact and load, by smart impact and load. And research shows that weight-bearing exercises and impact exercises like jumping can improve and preserve bone mineral density in especially women as we age. And since women are at a much higher risk for osteoporosis, especially later in life, that 1 in 2 is a crazy statistic, not mind-boggling, a crazy statistic. This matters. Jumping matters. And as you keep this structure strong, it will help you over time. And so it will build athleticism. It will build, obviously, your ability to impact and take that load, but it will also train your power output. It will also train your coordination. It will also train your tendon, that's the thing between your muscles and your bones. It will create and allow that tensile strength to be better. It helps with balance and also confidence with movement. Whether that be as we age, we're a little bit afraid to fall, or we're afraid to catch ourselves in certain areas. And we need to train like we're going to live. And so we have to add those things in. And if we're only walking, or we're only doing light weights, or we're only doing Pilates, and we're also only strength training and lifting, we are missing a big piece of it, and that's adding jumping in. And so selfishly, not selfishly, I keep saying that, my perfect trio for it is if we zoom out and incorporate these 3 things. Number 1, be strength as a foundation. Strength training is a non-negotiable. Number 2 is Pilates and yoga, having that in for Pilates and yoga, having a piece of mobility in. And number 3 is jumping or having an impact. Strength training, some type of mobility recovery, deep control, pelvic control, and jump training. When we can have all 3, you are building a resilient body. You are building a body that is not going to feel good. It's not going to just look good. It is going to be able to endure, and through that, it is powerful. And so real quick, what jumping can look like I said, it does not have to get as high of a box jump as you can. A lot of the women that I have that are in that perimenopause, menopause timeframe, they're doing little pogo tops. They're just not jumping high, but they're getting a little bit pogo hops in. I have them doing jump landing. They're taking a step and learning how to accept the ground and accept that jump. They're doing some jump rope. They're doing low-level hops. They're doing lateral side-to-side hops. And this does not have to be like you see the NBA player doing in their training, but it does have to be smart and strategic for you. And so here is the bigger point. Okay, it's not about doing more. Okay, I got it. You're telling me I got to straight train 4 days, and then I got to add yoga and Pilates for 3 days, and then I got to add some jump training. No, more is not better when it comes to training. Better is better. And so the best combination and what the sweet spot is for many women, if you're focusing on a specific goal, whether that be lifting or high rocks or something, your training is going to look different, as it should. But if we are just talking about a balanced training schedule that allows your body to be resilient, allows you to kind of dot your I's, cross your T's with all these different things, this will look like a non-negotiable of 3 strength training days per week. Non-negotiable. It can be a lower upper full body. It can be 3 full bodies, but a non-negotiable that I'm focusing on heavy resistance training, quality resistance training. I'm not just pushing load to push load, but I'm doing it strategically and effectively. 1 to 2 days of yoga or Pilates, okay? If you enjoy it, you like that class atmosphere, amazing, add that in. And daily walking and movement. And in that strength training days, you're adding that jumping in, either at the beginning or at the end, okay? 1 to 2 days maximum with it. 3 days strength training, 1 or 2 days yoga, okay? Walking and daily movement. And for those 2 that, I don't want to pigeonhole this, but adding a 1 day of a zone 2 cardiovascular exercise can be also helpful with that. So I've dove into a lot of these areas for me personally, and you will find a sweet spot for your training. You will find a really good sweet spot for your training, but this will help you build a whole body. And so a sample week might look like, actually, I'll tell you my work that I do right now. Monday, I do a lower body strength. Tuesday, I do an upper body strength. Wednesday is my recovery day, so I do a Pilates, and I focus on walking and doing that more walking. Thursday is my full body strength. Friday is I do an athletic day. This is more zone 3, zone 4 that I'm working in 30 to 40 minutes, sled push, sled pull, sprints, intervals, that type of stuff. Saturday is my Sabbath. It's an off day. I go hike. I go do something fun outside. I don't do anything specifically intentional with that. And Sunday, I do a nice zone 2 run or zone 2 cardiovascular for about 30, 40 minutes. And this is not overloaded. It is intentional, is effective. But like I said, if you have a specific goal, my goal now is I am trying to optimize things. So I'm trying to optimize internal, I'm trying to optimize external. But if your goal is really specific body comp, you're stepping onto bodybuilding stage, really specific lifting, I'm trying to hit a PR, that's going to look different. But overall, that can be a well-balanced schedule for you, okay? So as we round this episode out, is Pilates, yes, is powerful. Strength training is foundational. And impact, even as something as simple as jumping, it can give you one of the best futures for your body because you're building a durable body. But more than anything, do not put your fitness into a box. Do not put your fitness into a box. You don't only have to be a Pilates princess. You don't only have to be the lifter that does the strength stuff. You don't only have to be the girl that goes to yoga. You do not only have to be one type of fitness girl. We want to build the full athlete. We want to build you so you can enjoy your life and you can be doing things 85 that other 85-year-olds are not doing. I always joke around with one of the girls that I train with. I'm like, Ash, we are going to be racing each other in our wheelchairs when we're 95. And that's my goal is I'm going to beat you. I'm training to beat you in my wheelchair at 95. But lift heavy, move well, train your core, stay mobile, jump, sprint, hike, float, do the things, and train in a way that supports the woman you're becoming at 40, 50, and 60. You're strong, you're capable, you're resilient, you're athletic, because it's not just about the workouts, but it's about us being able to build one step at a time, shift that 1 degree at a time that enables you to become the woman that you are called to be. All right. Hopefully this allowed you to shed light on what all the buzz is in the different ways and allowed you to understand you don't have to have an either or, but it gets to be an and. Love you guys. Have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll see you soon.